Just your transmission? That's over $3,000. Your engine? Up to $6,000. Even minor repairs like your air conditioning can hit your wallet hard. Here's the good news. If you have a car, truck, or SUV that's $19.99 or newer, you can stop paying for repairs right now. That's right. With Protect My Car, when your car breaks down, we pay your repair bill for you. Just dial 800-279-2827 on your mobile phone now to get started. Protect My Car pays for repairs to your engine, transmission, air conditioning, suspension, and so much more. Dial 800-279-2827 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Dial 800-279-2827 on your mobile phone right now and get free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Dial 800-279-2827 and never pay for car repairs again. Dial 800-279-2827 for the ones who keep going when the going gets tough, and the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you, so you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. If you haven't refinanced your mortgage in 2021, you need to call Hall Financial right now to see if you qualify for the no appraisal 8-day close. 866-CALL-HALL, or you can chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Your opinion matters. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket Studio line at 248-539-9797. Book your stay at the D by visiting thed.com. The D Las Vegas, the home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Back to Broncos over the middle. It is caught. Oh, man, what a catch.
Detroit Lions face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lions game day begins Sunday at 10. Live from the BetMGM Sports Lounge at MGM Grand Detroit on 97.1 The Tickets.
Okay, do you want to start with the thing to get mad about? Or the thing that's the real threat? Because the Michigan State scenario, with the Wolverine 6 and Michigan State 7, is, in my opinion, not controversial until they both went out. Which, even then, I don't think it's particularly controversial because I think Michigan State goes to the Big Ten title game under that circumstance and gets the extra data point. And we'll get, as a Big Ten champion at 12-1, by winning that game, get into the college football playoff. At this point, what do you think the percent chance of them both winning out is?
Both.
I mean, less than 5%.
From both to do it?
They both. This is the only reason.
Less than 5%, because I think Ohio State's the class of the Big Ten, and I think they win both games. But the likelihood of them losing both games is highly unlikely. So yeah, I would say it's less than 5%.
So we're talking about the only reason this would potentially matter, and there could be scenarios where one of these teams gets white hot and blows everybody out, and the other one, squeaks by. But it just seems awfully unlikely that both these teams are going to run the table and that this is going to be an issue when it's all said and done. And the to-do list for Michigan State hasn't changed at all based upon these rankings. But again, the real threat here that we need to talk about more, and when you start rooting against, the real threat's Oklahoma.
Without a doubt. They are.
And I don't know how much discussion this has got, because I haven't heard a ton of opinions. But if Oklahoma, Georgia right now is almost a lock to make the playoff. That's one of the 4 spots.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, what are the odds that Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC title? I think it's better than Michigan State running the table.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
They have a chance to win it, without a doubt. You put in 30-40%, so
It's way better than Michigan State both running the table.
Yeah.
Oregon, given their schedule, I don't trust Pac-12 teams.
Right. And they have one game left against a ranked opponent, which is Utah.
Yeah. But Oregon could end up, them running the table and getting in is a better chance than Michigan State running the table.
Yes.
If Oklahoma wins out, dude, the Big Ten could get left out.
Well, here's the thing. Oklahoma has this, they still have the schedule coming up. They've got Baylor this week on the road.
Baylor, who's 13th in the
Baylor,
college
who's
football
13th.
playoff, 7-2.
They've got Iowa State at home.
Iowa State is 6-3 and playing good football
Yeah,
again.
they're always a tough team. And then they finish the season with Bedlam at Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State is
and
ranked
they're
10th. And if they win that game, they may have to play them again in the Big 12 title game. They could put together, Oklahoma would be undefeated, 13-0, with 4 quality wins to end the season.
which would shoot them, in my opinion, if they were to do all that,
Yep.
they should be number 2 in the country.
They should be, and yet my concern is that while we're all sitting here, and I shouldn't say we all, because the whole country's doing it. The whole country's talking about the Michigan State thing. But the real threat is Oklahoma. Oklahoma could run the table, leapfrog everybody. And I'm not sure how you keep them out. You can't keep them out of the playoff at 13-0 with those 4 wins at the end of the season.
Well, here's what happens. I would absolutely agree that Oklahoma deserves to be there and probably deserves to be too, like I said. If Georgia beats Alabama, Alabama's gone. 2 losses, you're gone.
No, that's what Gator and I were arguing about.
They're gone.
Dude, they're not. If Alabama plays Georgia
Uh-huh.
and plays them well and loses, okay, well, here's the deal. Georgia's number 1, and this is the argument, okay? I'm just telling you what the argument that's being made, and I've heard this argument be
I
made.
won't yell at you.
Okay.
I will yell at the situation.
Okay, so
when it's
let's
time.
start. We established Oklahoma's a legitimate threat that needs to be worried about. Alabama is the future thing to potentially get mad about. And we should talk about Alabama a little bit more. Because here's what I've heard. If Georgia's the number 1 team in the country, okay, and Alabama's the number 2 team in the country, and the number 1 team beats the number 2 team, why should the number 2 team drop? Why? Hold on. It's a matter of, hey, they weren't supposed to beat that team. It doesn't mean they're not number 2. And they're Alabama, man. They're Alabama. And it doesn't matter that they flew close to the sun against Florida, apparently. Doesn't matter that they flew close to the sun, let LSU creep back in that game and make them sweat. Alabama, with a loss to Georgia, whether you like it or not, is a legitimate team that will get talked about to still make the playoff. And here's what even sucks more, is that they probably wouldn't stay at number 2. They could very well drop to 4, meaning Georgia and Alabama would just play again.
All right. I will attempt to chop this down right to the knees and finish it up.
Okay?
If Alabama loses to Georgia and has 2 losses, and Oklahoma does like what we say, and they go ahead and they let's say even before Alabama loses to Georgia, if Oklahoma wins out prior to championship weekend, Oklahoma will go ahead of Alabama prior to championship weekend because they will have been undefeated. They will have the resume at that point. The College Football Committee, they'll look at things, they'll reshuffle. Alabama will no longer be number 2. They will drop to 3 or 4, probably 3, and be the best of the 1-loss teams at that point going into the championship weekend. So it's no longer 1 versus 2 when you look at the SEC championship game. And then if Georgia beats them, that's 2 losses. You can't put that in, particularly if you still have, if Cincinnati is still sitting on the outside looking in and they're undefeated, and if they have 1 more game left on their schedule, it's resume building or whatever, they can yell and scream, and they might even scream loud enough to get in. But it has to be Alabama. I understand what you're saying with Alabama being 2, but I think that if Oklahoma wins out prior to championship weekend, I think they unseat Alabama.
Well, I don't know that I agree with the premise. Secondly, is that's necessarily true. Nothing you really said changed my mind. The Alabama name and weight and the SEC, love, I think makes Alabama, a 2-loss Alabama team, a factor. And that's something to be mad about in the future. If Oklahoma wins out, Oklahoma is obviously in the playoff. There's no denying that. And I'm worried about them leapfrogging the Big Ten team. If there's only 1 spot available.
Yeah.
If there's only 1 spot available. The other thing is, I I'm not sure we need to go bonkers just yet. But you're also trusting this committee?
Well, I don't really trust anybody, but
I mean, this committee is doing some weird stuff. I have no problem with what they did with Cincinnati.
It's the wait and see approach with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Hey, you're really good, but you can't put you in the top 4 because your resume just doesn't show it just yet.
Yeah. Feedback coming into the Carson Anderson inbox from Dan in Ann Arbor. Isn't this ranking just the fire Mel Tucker needs to propel his team? Well, it could be. It could be. Luke Fickell had the same motivation, and his team came dangerously close to losing to Tulsa. You want to be motivated. You want to play the card right. You might get yourself in trouble, and I think Cincinnati did, thinking we need to blow everybody out instead of just going out and playing football. Don't worry about that, because if you worry more about blowing somebody out than you do just winning a game, you can get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, I think when it all comes down to, though, if I were in the committee, the one thing I would be firing up about if Georgia beats Alabama in the championship game, you're talking about who's going to make the Final Four. I would just say, look, guys, love Alabama, they're a great program, but the number 2 keeps them out. You can't let in a 2-loss team when there are too many other teams that only have 1 blemish on the record. Albeit it's a badge of honor to lose to Georgia, I suppose. And some of this may, if you look at what happens with Texas A&M the rest of the season too, that may play a role in what happens with Alabama because it's Alabama's loss. If A&M, they play Ole Miss this week. If Ole Miss beats Texas A&M, does that make that Alabama loss to A&M look worse?
Yeah, I honestly think
if Prairie View,
this is one of the things that I love about the college football setup is because of the way this is set up. I feel like there's like 10 or 15 games we need to be watching because they all impact the ripple effect from an Ole Miss win over Texas A&M would help the Big Ten.
Well, get your popcorn. It's going to be fun.
Yep. I mean, those Big 12 games. Maybe we need to put Oklahoma on the desk and do.
No, we Rams are fine. That's good. I don't know what you're doing.
Just a thought. 248-539-9797. Get to your phone calls and feedback coming up. Carson Anderson, 97.1.
Not looking for work, but thinking about a change? Well, lots of people are looking for a better situation. So let me tell you why you should consider Penske Logistics and what they have to offer. Right now, they're hiring full-time and part-time positions at the cold storage warehouse in Romulus and dry storage in Chesterfield. Both locations offer daily open houses from 1 to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. There's no experience required, which means you're going to get trained by an industry leader while you earn your salary. Speaking of, full-time hires will average more than $53,000 in their first year and earn between $17 and $20 per hour. They're offering a $1,500 signing bonus and personal paid time off that you can use this year. Here's what else you should know. You want benefits? They got great benefits. You will receive great benefits like medical and dental and 401k. They've got referral programs and performance incentives. Things move fast at Penske, and you will too. Pick your path with Penske by texting PLW and the number 1 to the number 2500. Text PLW and the number 1 to the number 25000.
Barstool Sportsbook at Greektown Casino Hotel is open, and the Barstool Sportsbook app is live. Greektown and Barstool are your ticket to all the action and real-time odds with 40 24-hour betting kiosks, a live walk-up window, and now the Barstool Sportsbook app. Placing your bets at the casino or at home has never been easier. Get in on all the action and earn My Choice rewards with every bet. It's all here at the Barstool Sportsbook at Greektown Casino Hotel and the Barstool Sportsbook app. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-6117.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is proud to salute the service of our veterans and active duty military members. This Veterans Day, we've teamed up with Travis Manion Foundation to highlight If Not Me Then Who moments from our veteran community. If Not Me Then Who was the mantra of Marine First Lieutenant Travis Manion. During his second deployment to Iraq, Travis and his fellow Marines were ambushed. Travis heroically pulled his wounded teammates to safety, but was shot by an enemy sniper, costing him his life. His courageous act allowed every member of his patrol to survive. Today, Travis's legacy lives on through Travis Manion Foundation. Our sponsor, Tito's Handmade Vodka, is proud to carry on Travis Manion's legacy by sharing If Not Me Then Who moments from our veteran community. This Veterans Day, join Tito's and Travis Manion Foundation to honor our nation's heroes. To donate or learn more, visit travismanion.org.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm the dad from that hilarious sitcom you watch on demand. Thanks to DirecTV Stream, our worlds have been brought together.
And there's a laugh track.
Oh, who them? Yeah, well, they kind of just follow me everywhere.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at directv.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
It's not magic that will deliver 1 billion packages to homes across the country this holiday. It's the United States Postal Service. And we don't need a team of reindeer to do it, because we've added more vehicles to our fleet. And while we don't come down your chimney, we can pick up presents for you and yours. So if making more holiday deliveries to homes in the U.S. than anyone else seems like magic, that means we're doing our job. Share the magic at USPS.com/helpers.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
97 won the ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply. Scott Anderson, 97 on the ticket. A lot of loud noises today. Loud noises. I mean, we can ask Michigan State fans, do you care? Do you care about the ranking? 248-539-9797. We just laid out the real threat in this whole thing. Our opinion, Oklahoma. Where Gator and I disagree, the thing to get mad about is whether or not a 2-loss Alabama team has a chance to get in. Are they a bid stealer? Do they take one of the 4 spots? If their one loss is a SEC title game to Georgia. And Oklahoma running the table seems more likely as a threat to Michigan and Michigan State than both of them running the table. Alabama winning out and then losing to Georgia seems like they could steal a bid, and that could be a bigger threat and possibility than Michigan and Michigan State running the table. So the 6-7 thing, we tried to lay out all the reasons why it logically really doesn't matter, but that doesn't mean people still don't get upset. And so if you care, 248-539-9797. In the meantime, let's talk to the people. Sean on a cell. Hi, Sean.
Hey guys. Yeah, I love college football. I love the regular season, the quest to go undefeated. I think when you're undefeated, you should be rewarded 100%. Like, I think they almost need to bring back BCS just as like a lie detector, almost, to keep these poll people on point. Because right now, Oklahoma shouldn't be ranked 9th in the country. My God. Like, you look at the loss Alabama had to Texas A&M at the time. Awful loss. And if this team, they should be went down to 8th or 9th. And then you got teams like Cincinnati. You look at Notre Dame; they have no chance at the playoff right now.
Oh, tap the brakes on that, Sean.
But you have a Cincinnati team that's undefeated and can't even crack the top 4.
I got it. I mean, Notre Dame needs some stuff to happen, but I flipped on a post-ranking show last night, and Mike Golick Jr. said, I'm just going to say this and leave it out there, but Notre Dame, or the team's not in the playoff, has the best loss in the country. And I'm like, that would be the loss to Cincinnati. If Cincinnati loses, Notre Dame wins out, some chaos happens in front of them, yeah, I think Notre Dame could get in.
Yeah, but if Cincinnati loses, like, if Cincinnati loses, does that make Notre Dame not look as good?
It depends. It depends. Yes, it does. And Cincinnati, as we've learned, it doesn't mean they'll stay in front of Notre Dame. It depends who they lose to and how they lose to them.
But here's the thing, though. Say Cincinnati wins out.
Look, hold on. Let me
Notre Dame's
be
still
clear.
stuck at 1 loss. How does Alabama leapfrog with 2 losses if they lose? I don't understand how that 2-loss team should not be there.
They might drop. They just might not drop far enough to be out. Sean, I'm not predicting that Notre Dame gets in. Let me be clear about that. I'm just saying there are scenarios. I mean, if you're Oklahoma State, you're arguing we could go beat Oklahoma twice.
Well, here's where Notre Dame's schedule gets interesting. When you take a look back at it now, they beat Purdue handily, 27-13. Purdue's come on and become a good team now. Now they're ranked 19th in this college football playoff.
Yep.
They lost to Cincinnati 24-13. They beat North Carolina 44-34. That's starting to look like a better win as well.
This is why Notre Dame's rooting for North Carolina.
Yeah, this gets to be interesting. Now, unfortunately for Notre Dame, is that they play at Virginia, home against Georgia Tech, and at Stanford to finish the season. And there's nothing special about either of those teams. So they can't really improve on their schedule now. What they need is for a team like, I forgot to mention Wisconsin, by the way. They blew out Wisconsin 41-13. Yep. What they need to happen is Wisconsin or Purdue
keep winning.
To keep winning. One of them to win the Big Ten West and then win the Big Ten. That would help Notre Dame's schedule.
Look, Virginia's not a bad team, too. Virginia's like Iowa State of the ACC. They can get you. Like that could be a good win for them, the way I think Iowa State could be a good win for Oklahoma. 248-539-9797. Perry's in Detroit. He's on 97.1. Hi, Perry.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing? First of all, I want to say, yes, I'm a Michigan fan, and I'm pissed off because Michigan State blew my whole playoff scenario last week that I called about where they could get a rematch with Michigan. But, Gator, you're 100% wrong, man. If you think that a 2-loss Alabama team won't be able to make the playoffs, or won't make the playoffs, not just be able to, and the only 2 losses they got on their record, man, would be a playoff-bound Oregon Ducks and to the number 1 ranked team.
They lost to Texas A&M, and they would have lost to Georgia with those 2 losses. And those are really good losses to have, but it's still 2 losses. And I don't think that they would have Alabama over a 1-loss Big Ten team.
Alabama got the resume, they got the history.
They don't have the resume. They have the history behind them, but the resume is, it's
the
still
good.
good.
The resume, I'm talking about.
But you know who else's resume is good? The 3 teams that are vying for the Big Ten championship and the Big Ten East.
Nah, here's the thing.
Hold on, Perry. Hold on.
Go ahead.
It's just because the Big Ten this year has actually gotten respect. They got respect from day one, and they got respect up until right now. They've got 3 teams in the top 7 in the college football playoff. So that's why I think a 1-loss Big Ten championship team gets in, and a 2-loss non-SEC championship team is out.
If it comes down to one spot.
I think that both of them could be true, though. I think a 1-loss Big Ten championship team could get in, and a 2-loss Alabama team
other things that
could still get in.
You would have to have, Oregon would have to lose, which isn't impossible to happen because it's Pac-12, and that's kind of crazy
and
stuff.
Oklahoma
would have to lose, which they've got a tough schedule, in Cincinnati.
Hey, I'm 8 minutes away. Coming down Middle Belt. Heather Heath. Yep. Okay. 15 mile, take a left, and then go down to the stoplight at 15 Mile and Heather Heath Road and drop the seat off to the crew.
15 and Heather Heath.
That's working there. Maple and Heather Heath.